Oh, I forgot to set up the music. How you guys doing? I am going live right now because I realized that I only have 8 minutes to talk about things that are going to be happening in the Warhammer Fest. So I'm going to get all my predictions out of the way. So first off, they announced this thing with this, and I should have gotten the I need to get this. Chaos Codex leaks. My bet is that the stuff that is leaked like months ago is going to be announced to some degree. And so for what I'm looking for, because I'm a Chaos player as well as an Orcs player, let's see, things they say are going to be here: new Chaos Cultist HQ, new mutant cultists, so some sort of new chaos units. And then as well, I expect that this fellow right here is Amgron. Amgron being the leader or the Primarch of the World Eaters, who, according to this leak, is not going to be in the Codex because they're going to make it a separate Codex similar to Death Guard and Thousand Suns. Sorry, Emperor's Children fans, you're going to have to wait another year, I guess, according to this leak anyway. My reason for that is that they recently announced this new Demon Prince. Here he is. Not the same guy, clearly. So they're not going to announce two Demon Princes. So they've got something with huge wings that look evil. So it's got to be someone else. And the other piece of information here is let's see. This is the symbol for corn. Yep. Got the little, it looks like a skull, basically. We got the top bits here, and then like under the eyes, you got two eyes, the nose piece, and then the teeth. That looks like that right there. World Eaters are dedicated to corn, so it would make sense that that would be what we got. So, I'm super into Warhammer. I got some unbuilt minis here. I've got like this truck that I lost one of the wheels to, so I need to build that. I'm not into Sigmar as much, so we're just gonna talk about Warhammer. Watch it be Logar instead, dude. I would love Logar, dude. Aren't World Eaters kind of shit right now? Well, I mean, if it's a new Codex, then they'd be new. Now, my problem with World Eaters is they're kind of a little bit like too much like Orcs. And I don't really want to start another army that's just Orcs again, right? So, that's my concern, is that I'm going to love this. And I'm going to want to... I want my Chaos army to have a different vibe than my Orcs army, you know? Like a different way to play them. But if they're getting their own Codex, that means that probably new Berserkers, that kind of thing. As far as predictions for today, since we're running out of time, my prediction, because they announced the new Chaos Codex book, here it is. It looks rad as hell. Whoever did this art, speaking of GW, credit your artists when you talk about crap like this. Like, who did this? Why is that not ultimately apparent here? Like, this art slaps. I love this cover. This cover looks great. We got some new cultists, and you got a mutant cultist guy right there. So there's like a possibility that the leaks are true. If the leaks are true, my two favorite that I would want to run are actually good now. According to the leak, Night Lords get -2 leadership, -1 combat attrition within 9 inches, +1 to advance, +1 to charge. And they'll get combat doctrines according to this, and that means that when they're in the fighty doctrine, they get, let's see, +1 to wound if the enemy unit is at half strength or at 6 leadership or below. It's possible, especially considering it also says that Demon Princes and Possess are going to be giving out extra minuses to leadership. Combined with the Chosen thing, where they apparently can take a build your own Legion trait, you can give them +2 to charge, which means you could drop them out of a drop pod, which is my favorite way of running Chosen right now. Drop them out of a drop pod, and they get a 7 charge. That's pretty good. I'm also pretty excited about Word Bearers. On charge and Heroic Intervention, reroll hits. 5+ feel no pain against mortal wounds, which is really big right now. And then their thing is also in the Fighty Doctrine. 6 is to wounds, cause a mortal wound, capped at 3 per thing. So that's pretty solid. Like mortal ways of doing mortal wounds. So my bet, probably chaos stuff, maybe squats. Amgron almost confirmed. In my opinion, this fella right here is Amgron. Has to be. I don't know who the fuck else it could be. It's not a new Demon Prince, because here's the new Demon Prince who looks cool. I already have one, I don't need it. But I want Thousand Suns to be better. Thousand Suns are really good right now, actually. They're probably the best Chaos Legion right now, in my opinion. So I suspect that we'll get a bunch of Chaos stuff today. The Armor of Contempt thing plus All Is Dust is absolutely broken. It's really solid. So something that's AP, let's say 2, 1 damage going into anything that has those rules is essentially AP 0. A Melta that rolls low, I think All Is Dust works on Meltas that roll low, would be, if you're in cover, it's AP 1. So on a Terminator that you'd need to roll a 3 or better. Like, that's broken. That's so good. I mean, that's if a Melta rolls a 1, is not in half range, and it actually works that way. But, you know, whatever. My prediction is it's going to be Chaos. I think we're going to get Amgron, and also, all of the Warhammer stuff, the 40k stuff, is just today, because last year, if you guys watched my video on that, they just talked about the same, like, model for, like, 4 days. So, I hope that Amgron is real, because it means that the Chaos Codex leaks are real. Also, they said that Mutilators are gone, probably for the best. I tried to work them into a list recently. I'm like, oh, all right. I just play 40k. I only have time for 1 plastic crack. So they're not going to do the problem like they did last year, where it's like, hi, Lord of Terra again. I'm not really hyped for Votin. Oh, here it is.
And welcome to Warhammer Fest Online 2022.
Low key, I kind of hate both of these guys.
I'm joined by my friend and colleague Eddie Eccles. And we're coming to
Also, I should say there is a giveaway.
Absolute pleasure to be here as always. Super excited to talk to you about Warhammer. We've got loads of stuff to show you.
I'll link the giveaway in chat.
We've got some cool expansions.
If you follow their newsletter, then you have a chance to win all of the models, not just from today, but all the models released this week.
Today is Warhammer 40,000 themed. Tomorrow, Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
Check.
Friday, oh, I feel so far in the future, is all of our boxed games and extra things. So,
skirmishy things. Yeah.
From Kill Team to...
So I don't care about that, because Kill Team is not going to be important. Orc stuff was already announced. Chaos stuff was already announced. Don't care.
There's some big heresy stuff coming. I think we know some of it, but we'll find out even more about it come Saturday.
Chat's going to go absolutely apeshit when Amgron is announced.
Without all of you joining us. As I look on my screen next to me, there are already more than 20,000 people in the chat from all around the world joining.
Switch to theater mode. Sorry.
Special Warhammer Fest 4 days. You could almost call it a week. So thank you so much for turning up and being part of this. My favourite thing at this time of any given live online broadcast is to ask where you're tuning in from. So if you are able to,
they're gonna jerk off here for a minute.
Let's not get too specific.
Oh, hey, Dreded.
Let me know what part of this wonderful world
how you doing?
Joining us from. And already the chat has gone mad. Sweden, the USA, Plymouth, but there's 2 Plymouths, one in America and one in the US. And it's
you know the most poggers thing they could announce?
France, Austria, New Hampshire.
A drop in prices. That's a joke. That would never happen. But a drop in prices would make my dick real hard. They've increased the prices twice since I started playing.
You've got to love it. Look, it is amazing. It always delights me throughout my time in the Warhammer hobby to travel the world and meet people who love the same stuff I do. And right now...
Shut the fuck up and get to the announcements! I'm sorry.
For joining us. Right. So, how is today going to work?
How's my day?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Buy a 3D printer? I'm worried about the fumes, dude. I'm already getting enough microplastics in my diet.
We've got some stuff that's maybe we're going to tell you about rather than show you some stuff, but there's plenty of good stuff to sink.
Who's the most Redditor-like Warhammer character?
Get excited about it too if you're joining us in the chat, and then we'll look at something else. You can follow
Pertabio?
the action here on Twitch, or if you want to, you can follow along on the Warhammer community website as well, which is going to have high-quality pictures of all the stuff we're showing today as well. So.
Yes, so don't feel the particular need to, unless you're especially like that sort of thing, screen grab something as a video is playing.
Trazen because he collects things?
And you can follow along there as well. Right, so we've got a few...
The Emperor is a good choice too. High up his own ass.
People are still letting us know where they're from, which is extremely delightful. Daka Flacker Flame is from their living room, an extremely nice place to join us from, I have no doubt. But I wondered, Eddie, since last we were in this place, what hobby have you done?
What hobby have I done? Oh, okay, cool. So I think I've pretty much finished my Orc army. I'm pretty happy with them. I've got one of everything, which is
as finished as an army can be.
As finished as an army can be. I'll probably still add things to it, but I now have more units than an Orc can count to, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Also, he's got a Cypher shirt on. That's Cypher, right? I would love to see Fallen get Armor of Contempt, which just like...
And then I've got about
I think Fallen are cool. I think that they're a really cool legion. Unfortunately, or sub-legion, I guess.
Right up my alley.
They're bad. They've been bad since I got them, like since I got into the game.
I was very jealous. I didn't get a chance to pick mine up, but
I feel like I was left out.
Since there's copies like 100 meters that way, I might pick one
Go
up.
via the Warhammer store. Excellent work.
How about yourself, Adam? What have you been
well,
doing?
so in
Fallen are no longer in the Codex, according to the leak. That's true. So I don't know what that. I mean, like they basically weren't supported.
I painted a squad of heavy
So.
in ultramarine colors and really enjoyed that actually.
Also, how are the audio levels? Like, are they like super quiet? I would assume that they are. I've kind of turned them down.
Counts in time, and then just last weekend I painted 18 more goblins. My goblin ton army.
He's just they're talking about crap that they're buying. Eddie, the guy on the right, just bought a whole bunch of orc stuff. He didn't buy it. He was given it by the company, I'm sure.
Exciting projects, or you just want to, type in all caps your favorite army. They're all great choices. Let us know what you're up to.
That is good. Somebody says, I wonder if we'll see any Warhammer minis today. I reckon you will, frankly.
Odds are good.
Oh my goodness, it's all started. Somebody said they're working on wolf spears. Somebody else says salamanders, harlequins.
So I've been working on... If we're going to just like talk about random crap we're working on, I'll tell you guys what I've been working on. I've been working on converting some AOS brutes into...
the third member of our broadcast.
Let me see if I can pull this up.
Raph, have you done any hobby lately?
Turn on some lights that way you can see a bit better. I've been working on some AOS brutes, converting them into Meganobs. So I've got them right over here. So these guys are going to be Corpse Boys, which is a thing from...
First of all, if you want to chat in the chat, you can do. You just need to be a subscriber. You can either subscribe using an Amazon Prime subscription or click the buttons and...
Can we get this to focus? Let me see if I can just like put them down and then like...
We will try and answer questions as we go along, so I keep an eye out.
So they're coming along.
But there is 26,000 of you, and the questions do go pretty fast. So Eddie and I
so they're boys that have been like cut up because they were fighting, and then like got stitched back together.
I can do. Oh, somebody says you don't need a sub to chat. Good gracious. Well, behave yourselves, please. Right.
They're coming along.
Quite so.
I don't know how the focus is working on
The
this.
show notes, and then we are ready for action. So at 5
I think this
past,
guy's probably my
which has just gone,
favorite.
We're going to show our first video.
Oh,
Without further
okay.
ado, we'll see you after this.
Chaos Cultist, Chaos Mutant Cultist. New Chaos Leader, dude. The leaks might be real, my dude. Oh, they look good too, dude. Oh, is that new Possessed? Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, those are so good because the old Possessed sucks so hard. That's a solid model. Fuck. I was going to convert some Possessed rather than buy any. There's the Warpsmith that they showed off previously. Okay, yeah, tell us what the fuck they are, though. Those look solid as shit. Those are some good Chaos models. My PP hard.
Chaos Space Marines have a very catchy
Yeah, they are Possessed! Woo!
All the best mottos. Kill, maim, burn.
So did they get rid of the Greater Possessed? Because that's super weird and part of the leak.
What a video already I can see behind us is some of what was in there. The chat went pretty wild. There was a lot of what is that in block caps. Whew, where do we begin?
Yeah, so this is a pretty substantial range update edition for.
Yeah,
Space
they
Marines.
needed
They've been
an
waiting,
update.
very patiently for a very long time, almost 10,000 years, for some new kits to drop, and we've got absolute smorgasbord of stuff on the way. I think there's loads of really cool stuff coming.
They look monopose.
We've already seen this year, so they've had a few kits already.
Those are solid, dude. Those look like the Gal Vorback level of good Possessed models.
Basically. So one of the stars of the show are the new Chaos Space Marine Possessed.
Really good.
Possessed have been part of the lore and the IP of Chaos Space Marines for absolutely ages. These are basically Space Marines, traitor Space Marines who've given themselves over to the dark powers of Chaos and have let a demon inhabit their form, which gives them all sorts of benefits of like talons and.
I love the dude in the bottom. This guy's head
but also kind of
looks
damage their
great.
soul. But you know, what's the price?
I'm gonna crank them up a bit while they talk about
a
it.
nice high strength AP weapon.
You do get to be mega in a fight.
You do get to be super mega in a fight. So one of the nice things about these new probably the wrong word. One of the cool things about these new Possessed is that they are huge, right? So Chaos Space Marines are slightly shorter in height than their Primaris foes. But you can see these guys are considerably bigger than a Chaos Space Marine. So those are on Terminator-sized bases.
Yep,
Oh, wow,
40s.
Yeah, there is always someone. So you go, 40mm bases. But they stand kind of shoulder to shoulder with something like a Gravis Space Marine. So
Wow.
these are big,
Fucking
Space
big.
Marines. You can see one of them there is standing on the fallen body of a Primaris Ultramarine, so you get a sense of like how big these guys are, but they are hefty kits. They've also got like absolutely loads of options. So you
I
can see
like
that you
them.
can make
I was
them
gonna
kind of
convert, dude.
gribbly in a tentacly way. They've got some gribbly in a kind of weird crab demony sort of way. There's some chaos flames. There's plenty
But
of spikes.
like they
There's all
slap.
weird possessy demon faces. And these are usable by any of the traitor legions as well. So you can kind of lean them into a Cornate or a Slaneshi or a Iron Warrior-y or a Empress Children-y sort of angle. You can use them.
Slaneshi
in all
or
sorts of
Emperor's
ways. So there's
Children.
just a really high time for a really great multi-part plastic Possessed kit, and this is they.
They're cool. The problem is that you probably want to run 20 of them, and these are going to be like 60 bucks a pack.
There are these fellows. Who are these?
So these are Chaos Cultists. They'll be very familiar to anyone who has had
A new
Chaos Army
update on the
points over
Chaos
last,
Cultists. Good.
decade or so. So these are the chaff of the Chaos Hordes. And this is basically the troops that the Chaos Space Marines send in when they don't want to take the bullets themselves.
They look good.
In game terms, they are sort of on a par with
Convert some, buy some. I was thinking about making them like the ghosty fellas from Sigmar.
Kind of en masse, so, you
So
get
they'd be
plenty
very
of,
different looking.
Hordes of the lost and damned, basically. But the
The
new kit's really nice. You got loads
old
of options
kit
in there. You can
was
see there's
kind of
all
awkward.
sorts
Wait,
of
they all
different
have melee.
helmets and options and a very
There's
kind of
no
ununiform
bolt gun.
look to them, so they're definitely not a
or no
an
auto gun.
organised fighting
They're
force
all
necessarily. These are
melee
the
pistol.
fallen civilians and soldiers
Huh.
of the world that's
I
turned to
wonder
chaos,
if they're
and
gonna
they've kind of
force
brought
us
with them
into
whatever
doing
weapons
only
they can. So
melee.
you can see a mix of auto guns and bolt pistols and chains and sickles and hammers, and one guy's just got like a stick covered in nails.
I mean, a stick covered in nails looks like it will get it done. These match really nicely with the Cultists of the Abyss that we saw
Yeah.
in Blackstone Fortress, which is a
That's
really
what
nice
I'm
thing.
thinking is
And
that
there's
maybe
quite an
they
eclectic
become the
mix here. All
HQs
praise
from
to
the
Cultists
Cultists of
rocking
the
the
Abyss.
bad bod.
Yeah,
As a person
bottom
who
right there
rocks
is-
one in the real
yeah,
world.
absolutely.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
there's a
you don't need to be ripped with a six pack to
absolute
throw
chaos
you
will
into
take
the
you.
dark gods.
You don't need to have hit the gym recently. You can, as long as you've got faith in the Chaos Gods, they'll happily have you.
You've got to love it. But of course,
There's the mutants that were leaked, so that means the leaks might be real. That's such a weird call.
we haven't seen the next slide yet, so who knows? So, Accursed Cultist. So this is a new thing for Chaos Space Marines. These guys have sort of been a part of the IP for Chaos Space Marines for absolutely ages. The idea that you've got
so that means all that crap about that I was saying beforehand.
Even more to the power and the
might be real
temptations of the Dark Gods, and they've basically started to be overcome with mutations. So unlike something like the Chaos Space Marines, who are kind of strong of will and strong of body and can kind of control the rampaging demonic energies inside them, these guys definitely can't, right? So they've got like all sorts of weird mutations and tentacles and things.
These look like they'd be fairly easy to convert. I think I could walk away from these guys and not buy them. You know what I mean?
The cultists themselves, but these guys
like I think I could convert something very similar for much cheaper.
They're fairly resilient,
but they are cool.
They are a horde of troops that you can just push across the battlefield into the guns of the enemy, and they hit much harder in
Kit
combat
Basher
than a
Putty.
regular cultist
That's what I'm
unit.
thinking.
So you can imagine your cultist unit, their job is to kind of grab the objectives and things like that. This unit's job is to push forward into the heart of the enemy and do some serious damage.
And there's so many weird sort of mutations going
Super
on. I just
weird,
feel like it's the one with the quite sad-looking eyes and his tentacle arm sort of drooping down his side.
Bottom left there, he's looking a bit sorry for himself, isn't he? The demon inside him.
And in terms of body horror, top right, as we look at it, is like more than I can cope with. Like somebody in the chat said, utterly disgusting, and somebody else said, exactly as they should be, and I completely agree. The stuff of that primordial destroyer, chaos, and all of it sort of warping.
I'm cool with this, man. I'm cool with this.
And they're not leaning too strongly into any one particular chaos god either.
They do though.
All the various
left or right, like this guy in the middle here, he's Nurgle. This guy's Khorne. This guy's Slaanesh.
Very kind of bloody cornate color scheme or something like that. And I think
that's probably Tzeentch, and this is Undivided. You got 5 of them. You got 5 options.
And the Damned. If you remember that
army
list from the old Black
from the 13th Black Crusade?
Yeah, that's the one. I think you're always encouraged to kind of create kits yourself using lots of different bits, but these guys actually give you that unit straight out of the box already.
I'm just converting this shit.
Chaos mutations
Sorry, this one's not that important to me.
Somebody in the chat, Eddie, paints
if they're any good.
It says, Eddie, I've got one of your Dark Elder models you left in Warhammer Glasgow. If you want it back, get in touch. There you go.
Next time I'm up, I'll pick it up.
There you go. Maybe leave it behind the counter and Eddie will visit at some point.
These guys are fucking
more,
rad.
Even more disturbed.
What the fuck is that guy in the middle?
Cultist Torments.
Right.
Oh, so it's not Amgron, because he did have the thing.
Horrific enough.
Okay, so that's the model I thought was Amgron, and it's not.
The demonic power inside the cultist has just completely overrode the cultist, and you can see there's like shreds of the original cultist that the demon had kind of taken possession of in amongst them, but the demon is very much in control at this point. So you can see the kind of glowing eyes of the demon as kind of ripped forth out of the host body almost, and they are just like the absolutely weirdest looking things. So these guys go around with the Accursed Cultist unit. They're all one big, I want to say happy family. It's probably not quite the right term.
A very disturbing unit.
Yeah, one big unit, and these guys add the real combat punch. So there is somewhere between a cultist and a chaos spawn in terms of like combat output, but they've got high strength, high damage, high AP attack.
But
kind of,
we did get confirmed in the form of mutated cultists,
out of a vehicle or something like that. They're a
which
pretty hefty
helps
combat unit. But they mean
the
that
leaks look more
army,
legit.
If you want to lean into the idea of that vast host of fallen mortals to chaos, you can really do it. And these guys add the kind of.
I have no idea what the fuck these guys will play with.
So how do these differ to Chaos Spawn? It's a question I saw come up.
Yeah, good question.
A fair question.
So I think they definitely in that kind of, it's probably a spectrum of everything from like, just got my first chaos tattoo all the way to Chaos Spawn. The difference really is that these guys still have that living demon inside of them. So
you can possession rather than
yeah. So you can still see the eyes of the demon. You can see that the actual demon itself is starting to manifest through the flesh of this particular unfortunate. Whereas a Chaos Spawn, sometimes you can become a Chaos Spawn just by having the gifts of chaos be a little bit too generous to you, without necessarily having a demon inside.
Spawnhood awaits anybody who does like too well too quickly and can't handle the gifts that are bestowed upon them, or just epically fails at some point.
Pretty much
turned into one. In fact, you see one of.
So these are people being turned into demons, but they're not
on Warhammer TV. Get turned into a spawn for blowing his mission, and it's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
Just
there's
horrendous.
very. I think most of the people who set out on the path to chaos will either die or turn into a chaos spawn, and a very small number will make it to the chaos lord or demon prince level. But I like the idea of the chaos spawn that happen when the god is actually just too generous, and they're like, "Oops, gave you too many gifts. Ah, well, I guess you're a giant fly now."
Enjoy your new unlife. Do you? Oh, we got one more thing, and then I'll ask a question. Here are the Dark Commune, Eddie. We can sort of start.
This is
to guess what
the
they are, but tell us about the
Cultist
Dark
HQ
Commune.
thing that
the
was
Dark
leaked.
Commune are a HQ choice for Chaos Space Marines,
Yeah.
and what they are basically is your cultist leaders.
Mhm.
So when Chaos Space Marines attack a world, or a world rises up in the name of chaos, quite often there are the leaders of the insurrection, the demagogues, the kind of fallen psychers. This is they basically. So you've got kind of middle left there is your kind of
Zinch.
leader. He's your kind of cult leader. You've got the guy top right who is your psyker, and what you
Top
can't
right,
quite
very
tell.
disturbed.
What you can't quite tell from that picture is going on is that is the still living head of a chaos mutant psyker carried around in a slightly symbiotic relationship with a cultist who he's using as a life support system.
A host who may or may not be entirely willing, and if you look, all the pipes sort of go into them, so they're being sort of kept alive. Off their life force,
Katana Squirrel, thank you
literally.
for the 59 months of
Their
support.
host.
Luke,
It's gross and awesome.
Kuna,
Properly grim.
thank you for the 3 months
so what
of
we have
support.
here, just to give you the rundown, you've got the Cult Demagogue, which is sort of centre left. You've got the Iron Arc, which is the one with the enormous banner. It's one of the coolest banners you've ever seen.
It's up there.
And then you've got the Mind Witch, which is the one bearing the distended Psyche head. Then you have Blessed Blades, which are the sort of robed sword bearers flanking them.
Yeah, so you can imagine if they were doing some kind of weird chaos congregation, they would be the kind of warriors at the side. So if anyone expressed any
Zinchy
views
guy's
against
pretty
the
good.
rise of chaos, they might
I would expect that
swiftly
he would be
head
the
them with their
psyker,
head on
but
the opposite
apparently
side.
not.
She loved chaos.
Like that's straight up a Zinch
Not
symbol.
enough. I'll take that head. Thanks very much. But I think what's really cool about these guys is, again, they've been part of this lore of Warhammer 40,000 for ages. This idea of like a chaos cult that rises up, and now you can properly have that in your game. So
I would love to
lots
see
of the
some
Chaos
Renegade Guard,
traitor
but
legions will have really
I'll take
strong
this.
cultist followings as part of their IP. So you've got something like Word Bearers or Alpha Legion, which have this huge cultist following, and a lot of the time they will take to the field with like not very many Chaos Space Marines, but vast amounts of these kind of cultists chaff, and the Chaos Space Marines kind of wade in afterwards and clean up the mess. That's not to say that you can't absolutely still do an army that's all about Chaos Space Marines, but if you want to lean into that kind of cultist rabble, that kind of Lost and the Damned feel, you definitely can.
Yeah, absolutely, and it meshes really nicely with things like I always think of Storm of Iron when I think of Chaos Cultists, which is a brilliant Black Library novel by Graham McNeil. Check it out if you haven't read it. But an Iron Warriors sort of grand company turns up to besiege this pretty impressive fortress, and they have thousands and thousands of dregs that they just hurl at the guns for days before the Iron Warriors themselves commit to the fight. So by that point, the defenders are just utterly demoralised, having fought these abominations and
overall, I
easy,
don't.
horrible
without the
and
rules,
tiring, and then the Iron Warriors
I don't know as if I'd buy any
do
of
that
these.
properly.
Aside from the
Yeah, so
possess.
here's the
Okay, anything new?
Chaos Space Marines mixed in with the current range in all their glory, and I think what's nice about this picture is that you get a sense of how big some of these models are. So you can see
I would love to see a third
the possessed
Obliterator model.
shot there, and you can see them standing next to the Black Legion Terminators, and they are like
Yeah,
taller
so they're
than the Black Legion
like
Terminators. These are
Terminator
big,
size.
big
Sure.
models. Another thing you could obviously now do if you wanted to is lean really heavily into
Forge
that kind of
Friend.
possessed angle for your
Right behind the
So if
Disco
you
Lord in the
wanted
middle
a
there.
really thematic. Word Bearers, I think, have done very well out of this release. You've got the Cultists, you've got the Possessed. You could have a very, very
I'm a fan
looking Word Bearers force.
Of Word Bearers.
Absolutely. I think the idea of a Master of Possession sort of leading all this rabble into action.
I do have a Master of
Absolutely
Possession.
amazing. The chat are getting excited over models that they can see. I wonder, I think most of it is what we've shown today.
Yeah,
and
there
then
might be some
loads of Chaos
alternate
Space Marines.
sculpts of some of those Cultists and things mixed in amongst
And a
them.
Forge World is getting bashed about pretty harshly as a result. Okay, so, of course, this is Warhammer Fest, Warhammer 40,000 Day. We are not done yet.
So I'd imagine that's all the
I'd be
chaos
happy, to be
stuff,
honest,
but
if
that
it
is
was
pretty
more-
cool.
More Chaos Space Marines, that would be okay with me.
Well, let's have a small break while we look at this.
So Votin.
This is Imperial Chopper. Welcome back.
Oh, it's gonna be
You
a
asked
bike
for it?
for
We
Imperial
got it.
Guard?
The latest chopper concept from the leagues of Votin.
Oh, no, it's Votin. All right.
Presenting the Hernkin Pioneer. Unparalleled comfort makes you feel like you're
Oh,
floating on
wow. They got it
air.
balanced on that
Because
rock
you
really
are.
tiny. So it
Smooth
looks like it's
lines
floating.
and an open
Really
canopy.
solid.
Let the wind whip through your totally awesome
They're getting
coat.
really good at
All
making
that
models.
And some hellacious firepower. The Hernkin Pioneer. From the leagues of Votin. You're out of their league.
Looks like it'll, yeah.
That was pretty awesome and quite unexpected, unless maybe you knew the running order of what we had going on. This is a Hernkin Pioneer and is part of the Leagues of Votin.
I'm like not at all interested in the Votan
absolutely,
guys,
this is
but
a Hernkin Pioneer is a bike.
that's
unit.
cool, I guess.
So we know this is part of the.
Did you
fact
find
that
it funny yet? Are
previously
you
known
guys
as
laughing?
squats,
Did you
now
guys
known
think it
as
was
the
funny
League
that they
of
did like a
Votan.
1970s
And
thing?
this is a reinvention of the of a classic trike archetype for the squats, basically. So if you are of a certain vintage, you might remember that one of the ways.
Oh,
that
Zimmerzod, thank you for the 10
ride
gift
around the
subs.
battlefield
Holy shit.
was on a variety of different bikes and trikes, and this is the.
That's a lot,
reinvention of
dude.
that
Thank
for
you
the
so
current
much.
Era of Warhammer 40,000.
Make
It's
sure you thank him
obviously,
if you got him.
Grav powered, so you can
No, you're good, dude. I agree. Like, I don't care. I didn't find that funny. But they kind of go cheesy with it. All right, so I'm going to turn them down because I don't actually give a shit about this. I'm sorry if you do. So, of the things that were announced as new models, they said that the Greater Possess were going to be combined with regular Possess. I believe Greater Possess are on 40s, which means that Greater... So, that's weird. So, if you bought... So, I've got 2 Greater Possess, right? I would imagine the mob size for Possess is going to be at least 5. So you can't just run 2? So does that mean that, like, that's something that's with the leaks that I'm like, really though? That they're taking Greater Possess out.
one of the models, but you'll be able to have basically whole hosts of these guys riding around. A few things to note about the kit. It's a Hernkin Pioneer. They are effectively the scouts and outriders.
They're taking out...
So
If they take out Greater Possess...
independent spirits of these guys, they're also very,
What?
independent and self-sufficient.
Yeah, so it's more content because instead of trying to extend 1 day's worth of content over a week, they just decided that that was dumb and no one liked that. So they just did all of the Warhammer stuff today. So there's going to be way more content. So I think this is the way to do it. I think it was stupid the way they did it last year. It was really dumb. The memes were aplenty because of it. What are we doing today? We're going to do this. I might stream a bit of this game called... Shotgun King, and then we're gonna do whatchamacallit later on tonight. The guy, Monument Mythos, Season 2.
The closest thing is probably something like the Castellan robots. This one kind of slightly curved.
Will we see the High Lord of Terror again, dude? If they pull that model out again, like they fucking know, they fucking know. I'm excited less for the models aside from the Possess. Aside from the Possess, I'm pretty excited about the models that we got announced today. Not because they're models, but because they confirmed the leaks, and the leaks are good. I'm gonna link the Spiky Bits article that I got the links from. Do they release figures in tandem with book releases? They usually do them right about the same time. They'll announce it probably about a month ahead, and then they'll release it. So I imagine the Chaos Codex is this month. I would imagine that Votin is either this month or next month. This is a whole new range, by the way. This is a whole new faction, which is bizarre. They haven't done that since like the 2000s with Tau, I think. With the... With the exception of Space Marines, they usually have all of it come out at right around when the book comes out. Yeah, this is a new faction. These are the Leagues of Votin, which is like new squads. Spiky Bits needs a web design. They do. Their website sucks. I think it was originally posted on Blood of Kittens, but I couldn't find that real fast. and it was like a forum post.
Said, I was a child of squats when they first appeared on the Warhammer 40,000 scene.
So squats are what
at this point.
squats is what they used to be called. Now they're called Leagues of Votan, so that way they can be copyrighted easier, because you can't copyright squat.
Lots of excitement for these. A lot of people are quite excited to see the Leagues of Votan arrive. So I'm right with you. Can't wait. I just need to know more. All the information about the Leagues of Votan building up to
But they're dwarves. They're space dwarves, which is a weird design space because a lot of the lore about them was replaced with Admech.
up to date.
Dwarves are back, yeah.
So we're doing well.
They announced it on April 1st, and then we're like, no, but for reals, on April 2nd, which is a hilarious move.
I'm sure there was a question about. Oh, do you know whether or not the other legions like Death Guard and so on can make use of any of those cultists that we saw?
Yeah.
So something like a cultist is already catered for in some of those codexes.
Awesome.
So
Duh.
not everything you can use, but
Yeah, you can't use the cultist squad, the HQ squad.
Amazing, and I'm sure as we tiptoe towards the release of Codex Chaos Space Marines, all that information will be covered.
Already in the
far more
codex.
detail.
I already have 10 cultists. I don't think I'm gonna pick up more. The fact that they're all running melee is kind of concerning.
Oh, you've gotten to one of my favourite subjects in the world, which is the bolt guns of Warhammer 40,000. The first is that they're using a much older design than the Adeptus Astartes are. The Leagues of Votan are descended from pioneer fleets that were settling the galaxy before the Emperor did any crazy stunts on.
I appreciate that the cornerstone is their lore, is that they have the ability to make new things.
Maybe more.
That's good,
reliable designs,
yeah.
And in lots of different patterns as well. So you won't just see different types of bolt guns. You'll see different types of.
Admech has a strict adherence to
common origin.
the standard templates, and so they don't invent outside of like
The bolt
heretics.
shotgun's an interesting thing. Do you remember, like,
So,
you might still be able to do it next month, I haven't recently, but you used to be able
it
to
kind
do
of writes GW into a corner because they can't invent new models because
back in my dark days of the
they can
Empire.
only use previous things.
Full circle has been achieved with bolt shotguns. I'm very happy about it. How many wounds? I've no idea.
They mentioned running the cultists with auto guns.
In
Okay,
relation
cool.
To the Tau Demiurge, again, I have no idea. Maybe the Codex.
Like the auto guns aren't good,
cover
but
that in
you really gonna throw that guy into close combat? That guy's gonna get mulched by anything and everything.
We'll be able to answer some more rules questions as time goes
They don't let us see the rules.
along. I've glimpsed a few. That's why I knew it was a
4
bolt
was in there, I
shotgun.
think.
Yeah,
Four.
there is a 4.
There is a 4 in the-
They're very
there's 4
tough.
in the
I remember
rules
being really impressed at how tough they were, actually. Thinking they were durable and stuff. Right, got the nod from Raph. It is time for our next thing. We are going to talk for a little while about this, Eddie.
Okay.
What is it?
Yeah, so this is chapter approved. So this is news for anybody who's
Expected.
interested in the match play portion of Warhammer 40,000. We've got a little bit of news about the next chapter approved. First of which is to announce that it's on its way, and it will give you what you need to play.
Wikipedia for anyone who actually doesn't want to spend $60 on just the game continuing to progress.
Which are going to shake up the way that Warhammer 40,000 plays. So probably the biggest change that you'll feel in your games is the way that command points work with this mission pack. So currently, when you play something like 2,000
Start off with 12.
40,000, you get about 12 command points to play with. You will get less command points in this new chapter approved at the start of the game. And what that means basically is that you've got to make some tough decisions at the start of the game in terms of how you put your army together, what detachment to use, what upgrades and relics and things you want to give to your characters. It also means that you can't put all of your eggs into a really big initial first turn mega use of stratagems and kind of combo everything with a kind of huge ruffle stomp of your opponent's army. However, as the game goes on, you will get more command points in each of the turns. So rather than having only one extra command point in each turn, you'll get more command points as the game goes on. So you can still save up your points and do something big and cool and impressive with a big massive stratagem combo, but you'll need to wait longer in the game to do it. And it also means that towards the end of the game, where quite often you find yourself, with no command points left at the top of turn 4 and 5, you will still get to do some cool stuff.
And if you want to do your mighty shenanigans, you are going to have to wait till later in the game.
Yeah, so
I'm not a fan of that because orc stratagems are hilariously overcosted.
Exciting, and you can do more cool stuff later in the game rather than being encouraged to put all of your eggs into a big, massive first turn push.
Also, orcs like to do a massive first turn push, so this is a huge nerf to orcs, as far as I'm reading it.
That's quite significant. That is specific to this mission pack, so that's not a rule necessarily.
But everyone's going to be playing this mission pack because it's the newest thing.
Match play in the second half of 2020 at something like a tournament. That's the
so when you play at a tournament or if you play competitively, you're going to be using these missions.
The other thing that's quite cool for Warhammer 40,000 players is that this book has all of your secondary objectives to use with this mission pack. What that means is that secondary objectives from the codexes will have been updated or replaced. So if you've got a codex that's currently out, something like Orcs or Space Marines or Eldari, your secondary objectives will have been tweaked and balanced against each other inside this chapter.
Okay.
And if you've got a codex that's not out yet, so something like Astra Militarum or Demons, you have secondary objectives in this chapter approved. So if you looking forward,
that's cool at least.
You've got an Astra Militarum army, and your
that's a good change.
Opponent always gets to do cool Space Marine stuff, and your Orc opponent gets to do cool Orky stuff. Now you get to do cool Astra Militarum stuff.
Well, I'd love it if the Orc secondaries were good. Green Tide has minor use now that out of line of sight shooting is out of the game for the most part.
Written at the same time, so that's pretty cool. And then the last thing that's quite cool about this chapter approved and quite cool for all of match play is that sounds a bit strange, but the book doesn't contain the points, and that's a good thing because the points as of this chapter approved will be free.
Yeah.
Available online.
Woo! Let's go.
If you want to play,
they're leaked anyway, so fuck it.
Stuff, you can buy this book, and all of your missions and all of your secondary objectives are in there. Whereas if you're more of a casual match player and you just want to play at home and kind of, beer and pretzels games, as sometimes referred to, and roll some dice.
That's how I roll.
Roll some dice with a friend and use the Eternal War missions out of the core rulebook, but you do still want to have.
If you didn't catch that,
kind of
points are announced and released for free.
Of the recent balancing, the points are available for you for free, so it's good for everyone.
Why would you ever not do that? Why did you wait until now? That's so fucking good.
If you're at a competitive level, and if you want to play at a casual kind of match play level, then the points are available for you for free, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a question in the chat, which I feel the need to ask the same question because we were speculating on it ahead of time. And do you suppose that is Primaris Cato Sicarius in the bottom right of this picture?
What the fuck?
I mean, he could have just found himself like
it
an old.
Might be an honor guard.
Oh,
he could have just found himself an old Mark IV
over on the right where I am.
Feel like he blends in.
Yep.
But yeah, that's really good. Like the CP thing, I'm not a huge fan of.
Like far right. I'm not sure what the
command points. There's stratagems overcosted. 2 CP for transhuman
There's loads of bears
on very specific units, one of which doesn't exist.
Double-headed eagle. Yeah, for sure.
It's quite the statement piece, isn't it?
Like straight up.
Yes, right.
CP command points. It's part of the game.
Is looking really exciting.
If you want to do a cool move, like a weird maneuver or something, you use command points. And they're like, you get less to start off with, but you get more per turn, which means that you can't front load your army with a whole bunch of special abilities and stuff on your guys to begin with, but you get more later on, so you don't run out as fast.
A particular way of playing it, they tend to be better than when they try and do a bit for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think if you
new missions are always good. Keeps the game from getting stale, so that's cool. I'll pirate them.
Get your points for free.
Sorry, not even gonna pretend like I'm a good boy.
Yeah,
like no.
And as Eddie said when he was talking, that covers essentially the second half of the year.
Yep.
So you can expect it sometime.
Wahapedia. Like if you're gonna jack up the prices, I'm gonna stop pretending like I'm a good boy.
We're a little ahead of schedule, and somebody said I want World Eaters. Let's see what we can do.
Here they are. So this further confirms the thing, the leak. This is gonna make my dick real hard.
So the World Eaters are one of the original traitor legions that fell to chaos during the time of the Horus Heresy. They are the favoured of the Blood God, the Lord of War, so one of the great chaos gods, his personal servants. Unlike some of the other traitor legions, they're not really an organised force. There was a famous battle at Scalathrax where the legion was shattered, mainly by a guy called Khan the Betrayer. The clue's in the name. He kind of went mad, killed loads of his erstwhile colleagues, the legion shattered into pieces. In recent periods of time, increasing numbers of World Eater warbands have been seen across the galaxy, united by particularly powerful warlords. There'd be no surprise to anyone that they're mainly focused on close combat, They're a really aggressive fighting force.
This is
In
why
the
they're
future,
kind
when
of
we really
redundant
explore
with
them in
orcs.
depth, there'll be a little bit more nuance to some of the way that some of those units will work that will give you a really good play experience. One of the cool things about this project was an opportunity to treat the World Eaters as the faction in their own right. So we've taken
it
them
is
out of
a
the Chaos
step.
Space Marines book.
Good.
So that we can give them all the love that they deserve. So what we're going to do is we're going to
Confirmed in the leak.
content in White Dwarf to tide people over while they wait for the full World Eaters experience. So our current Khorne Berserker models literally fought the Long War. It's not quite 10,000 years, but they are showing their age a little bit.
They are
so
old.
we will be doing, as part of the main release for World Eaters later on, a full set of new miniatures.
Good.
Including, of course, new Khorne Berserkers. There'll be all kinds of exciting things released as part of that.
They're not
miniature
showing
release.
any of it today.
Some of those will be old favourites, but there'll be a few surprises in there as well, and things that maybe people aren't quite expecting. As ever, there's always great things happening in the 41st millennium, and I'm excited to see what you all do with the exciting new World Eaters in the future.
In the leak, Iron Warriors reduce AP
Time
by
to Slaughter
1.
is coming.
Uh,
Steve's given us
yeah,
the
so they
lowdown
probably
on
have a
what
different one.
light can you cast onto the forthcoming World Eaters?
So the new Codex Chaos Space Marines has one legion that is conspicuously absent.
Not in it, you
It's
say?
not in it. They're straight up not in it. So
I
the
think
World Eaters
everyone's happy
are
about
not in the
this.
Codex.
This is
Don't worry,
good.
it's because they are getting a codex of their own. And if you have had a look at something like the Thousand Sons or the Death Guard, who have been one of the traitor legions recently that have transitioned from being part
Like,
of
I do
Chaos
really
Space Marines
like
into
them,
being a
though.
full-fledged legion on their own. You get a sense
Like,
of what that means for.
I had a list for the
traitor
longest
legion.
time called
So it's pretty exciting time if
Logar's
you are a
Therapy
Khorne fan or if
Session,
you're a World Eaters fan
or
and
something
just
like
picking
that.
skulls.
And it was
because
World
it means
Eaters and
or Eaten Worlds, taking
Word
skulls,
Bearers.
Eaten Worlds. It means that there's loads of really cool stuff.
Because
coming.
they had
So,
that whole arc in
these are the core of a
Emperor's
World
Children
Eaters
Codex
obviously
win,
your
10th
Khorne
edition,
Berserkers.
probably.
Khorne Berserkers are one of the longest serving plastic kits that Warhammer 40,000 has.
Yeah, they're
and
fucking
we are
ancient.
getting some new Khorne Berserkers as part
They
of
need
this,
to be
this
updated,
range.
'cause
So we're
everyone
not gonna
kit
have a look
bashes
at the
them
whole
now.
model
No one
today,
actually
but we're
buys
just kind
them.
of letting you guys know that these are on the way. And to prove we're not just like making it up, that there's definitely some stuff coming. Here are what would a Khorne Berserker be without an enormous, great chain weapon of some sort, which
Deeply sad.
he'd be very sad. He'd be raging. He'd be berserk. Here are some of the Khorne axes that are coming out alongside these. So the release is a little way off yet, but the reason we wanted to tell you about it basically is so that you didn't get sad when you saw your legion wasn't in.
Imagine how sad they've been if they'd have opened up Codex Chaos
I know,
Space
right?
and not been there. But now it can instead be replaced by Simmering Delight.
Absolutely. So there's some stuff coming that you will expect.
I mean, like,
There's some
Logar
stuff coming
did
that you
do, like,
probably
therapy
guess,
for
and there's some stuff
Amgron.
in the new
basically.
Codex
He was
and
like,
new miniatures range that
"Do you
you
want-
will not expect."
Do you want to get
Very exciting
revenge on the people who murdered
but
all
if
your
you have a
friends
World
and
Eaters
maybe
army
some
right
ice
now,
cream afterwards?
you
And then
can
Amgron
still
was like,
use it.
yes!
What's going to happen is
Ah!
you get the rules for your Khorne Berserkers and for things like Khan the Betrayer and your Legion traits inside White Dwarf, which will come out.
So he's probably
alongside
getting a
very-
model, because
alongside the
Mortarion got a
Chaos
model,
Space
Magnus
more
got
at
a
the same
model.
time. So put those two things together, and you can still continue to use your World Eaters army. So.
I'm excited to see what they look like in the White Dwarf. I will not be buying the White Dwarf. I will be pirating it.
Following some of those developments on the community site over the coming months.
Very exciting. The chat has largely been filled with people shouting in various ways, blood for the blood god, skull for the skull
I would be
throne,
disappointed if it wasn't.
and other thing. A few people are deeply sad that
Does
we didn't
War-
announce
White
Emperor's
Dwarf
Children.
still
We're gonna
include new
say,
rules
wait your
once in a
turn,
while?
I'm
Yes.
sure melodious tunes will one day greet our ears, but ain't no time soon. But get ready for the rain.
Yeah, I would imagine 10th
The
edition.
World Eaters cometh. Well, that's quite exciting because I do have some World Eaters in a box, just waiting for
I
more
think
friends.
everybody has, if of a certain age, probably has the Khorne Berserkers at some
Do you
point.
have some World Eaters, Raph?
Yeah, I can do it.
Yep. So that's 3 for 3 in this
I
spend.
I think
I did have
my
an army
first
one
model
point
that I
before
painted for
someone sat me down
Warhammer
and told me how to
was
do
this
armies,
dude
just like
who's
many
painted
Khorne
in
Berserkers.
World
That-
Eaters
that Khorne
colors.
Berserkers kit has that.
It's like a little
I had about-
skeleton
I think
dude
I had about
from
80 of them
Reaper
in army, and
Miniatures.
that
It
was
looks
about-
like
it was like a
shit,
demon
but
prince and then just loads of berserkers.
I was like, I could just
And
do
was about
that.
it. It wasn't very good, so I'm not recommending that as a particular tactic, but you know, it's quite fun. You just push them across the table and they had a good time.
Running at people
Yeah.
with power armored clad brutes and hitting them with axes is a reasonable plan. It lacks nuance potentially. Right, here we go. Let's. We've talked a little bit about chaos. We've talked a bit about World Eaters. Maybe we should show another chaosy thing.
Yeah.
I would take more chaos stuff. What's left in the leak that I didn't mention? Ooh, Amgron? Oh no, it's the. You already announced this. High Lord of Terra.
Ooh, a new Demon Prince of Chaos, Eddie.
Yes, so we did see a glimpse of the new Demon Prince.
You showed it off. It's not a glimpse, dude.
Week, and the 2 questions we got were, can we make him into a Warhammer 40,000 Demon Prince? And the answer is before you.
Emphatically, yes.
You definitely can.
Although this model needed to be updated as well. That model was ancient.
Absolute juggernaut of death for your.
I already have one that I kit bashed, so I'm not.
Huge amount of utility across Warhammer 40,000 because he shows up in Chaos Space Marine armies, in Thousand Sun armies, in Death Guard armies. He will be able to be used in your World Eaters army. If you are looking forward to having a World Eaters army, you can probably pick this guy up and chuck him in there as well. You can also put him in Chaos Demon armies. So he will be popping up all over the place. And the Warhammer
it's a cool model though,
which is made from the same kit. You can see has loads and loads.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Loads of things that.
I think I like the head on the left more than the head on the right.
There's so many options in this kit. You can see they almost look like different models, but they are.
Yeah, it's.
They are. You can. The tactical rock, I think, is the only thing that makes the transition almost unscathed. But
they reference the tactical rock.
Loads and loads of stuff you can do with this kit. You can tailor it.
Every time they release a model now,
different kind of flavors.
They're standing on a rock.
It's got different weapon options.
It's got different feet.
Oh, I fucking hate GW. I love Warhammer, but I hate the fucking company.
Some other options,
you know,
shown in that shot. So you had like a claw.
Like these.
Yeah,
oh, hey, there you go.
There as well, so you can build in with like a. If
the Zinch one looks like shit. Let me see if I can move myself out of the way so you can see the.
Grip the hearts of loyalist Space Marines as he laughs at the fallen Emperor.
I actually don't like any of those heads.
To pledge your allegiance to the various different gods of chaos. So that was the other big question we got, which was
like they kind of all look bad.
Be, a demon prince for different legions, different chaos gods, and you absolutely can. I think my favorite one is probably the Zinchi one. I've got like a thing
it's
for,
bad though.
Like bird things.
I like the fact that the
I fucking love the Lord of Change.
Look at the bloodthirster. I think that works really nicely for me. And I'm not gonna lie, the standard non-specific god-aligned head is pretty dope too.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
You can see that they would fit absolutely perfectly in. Obviously, if you've got something like a Black Legion army, you can have your pick of any of the Chaos Gods.
And if you've got any friends who collect non-Chaos armies, you can trade the spare heads for trophies for them. You see?
Yeah.
Look at that. There were a couple of questions.
We provided some level of value. It's going to be an $80 model.
Can you put the wings on it if you're using it in 40k? Almost certainly, that's a good idea if you want your demon to fly around the battlefield.
Okay, so they still get to have wings. That's good.
I think one of the things that's nice about kits like this is that there's just so many options, and you can pretty much make the Demon Prince whatever kind of Demon Prince you want. So
now, mine is with double malefic talons.
I want a gun, I want a claw.
He's somewhere in the box below me, and I don't feel like digging him out right now. But he's.
I want him to look like he used to be a Chaos Space Marine, or if you're playing Warhammer 40,000, you've got a demon army. You don't necessarily have to use the one that's.
Double that, he would be Primarch size. I think
so
$80 is probably pretty fucking close.
The era of the Horus Heresy before the trade to Space Marines, so you can use all
maybe 60
in Warhammer 40,000.
If he was a basic character, he'd be 30, but he's not. He's a bigger model. He's going to be on like a 60 mil.
There was a lot of excitement for the gun arm returning.
Yes, so that's the Kai gun, isn't it? From
yep, absolutely.
Was it 3rd edition?
I think you are going back a good 15 or 20 years for that, yes.
I think I still remember the stats.
It is not a hamster cannon.
Three shot strength 6, if I remember. AP3 was pretty good for killing.
I just remember being quite good. Yeah. And
that is solid. I don't know what that is in today's numbers, but that's good for now.
There was definitely an era where the Slanesh Demon Prince was ruled supreme at the Warhammer 40,000 meta. I seem to remember meeting one of those in almost every other game of 40k. But yes, but the model is absolutely like stunning. It's got incredibly detailed. You can make it kind of make it your own. I think we were talking before.
Okay, so it's not quite a High Lord of Terra because it is like, hey, you can also use it in 40k, which I mean,
some of the kind of completely
did anyone expect that you couldn't?
40k artwork that's been in the lore for decades.
When you look at the awesome like artwork, whether that's sort of the conceptual,
I didn't like the old Demon Prince because he looked real
rendered. Things you see on Codex covers and stuff. There's this always been in Warhammer this really sort of detailed, intricate aspect to it. And
let's look at some of these older models. I didn't like this old model.
The Warhammer teams just continue to push
like,
and it's not just in
he's showing his age,
man.
man. Like that's not a good model.
The level of detail
oh, you guys can't see that. Hold
the
up.
ridges along the top of his backpack, and
that model's showing his age, dude. Like, come on now. You want me to pay like full price to that shit? Like,
so I get pretty darn excited when I see this. I'm trying to see if there are other questions. Somebody said,
like,
what
these look
bases?
jank.
I actually don't know. I want to say it's a 60mm, but he's a big boy and I didn't write it down. So
I like that Khorne Berserker STL pops up.
You guys. But you can see the skulls on the kit.
And then Khorne Berserkers, they absolutely do need a refresh. Like, what the fuck?
He's going to stand taller than the current Demon Prince, I think.
Like, that, those are some chunky ass models, dude. Like, these look
really
gross. They're awful. And then
you could paint him gold.
You absolutely could.
The new Possessed looks so much better than these guys. Like, this, they look like Saturday morning cartoon characters. They look awful.
Beyond the kit.
So I'm glad they're getting an update. I am absolutely appalled that they think they can charge $42 for this. Like, what is that? These models look like ass, G-dubs. What are you doing?
At the start.
Yeah, you can imagine this guy at the head of a
so that's why I'm like, Wahapedia is a thing, guys.
Absolutely stunning as an army on the battlefield.
Absolutely. So, there we are. We have absolutely rocketed through a whole bunch of stuff. Time for something a little bit different in a moment, which is, of course, Warhammer 40,000 is more than just the models, and even more than just the game. But sometimes we explore it through storytelling, and we have a trailer for something coming up.
Will it be the game? Because I'd be pretty... Did I miss anything good? All of the leaked stuff is real about... This is going to be Warhammer Plus, right? Yeah, it is. I don't give a shit.
Someone must take the throne.
Was the lip sync off?
I am Ship Mistress Salkin. I would command you.
Livia, you would sacrifice half the ship.
I would sacrifice them all.
The lip sync's off on it. What the fuck? It's from the dude who animated Hell's Reach, yes.
In the name of vengeance.
That's not me. That's the thing. I mean... It's going to be on Warhammer Plus, which you have to pay separate for. Nah, bruh.
Angels of Death Origins.
They also got the Astartes guy, which I was really happy about until they decided that they were going to take down a bunch of stuff.
Warhammer TV, you'll have seen there's quite an impressive cast of characters, and all of them, you sort of join the story mid-action, right?
I don't care about Warhammer. So Warhammer Plus is Netflix for Warhammer exclusive stuff.
Tell some of the origin stories, hence the name, of the different characters throughout the cast of Angels of Death.
For anyone who's not aware.
This is a trailer for...
they want you to pay yearly to see fan animations, essentially.
The Sword of Baal,
I liked Astartes. We watched Astartes together. It was great. Is it £55? Yeah. As soon as they announced that it cost money, I was like, nah, dude.
Battleships, all of them are crewed by chapter serfs, and they're commanded by chapter serfs.
And then you also get access to the app, but the app doesn't work. The app still doesn't work. It's been a fucking year, dude. Battlescribe, which is not even being still updated and supported. Like, the person who made Battlescribe just fucked off, right?
I'm very torn. I really, really like Livia. And
it's still better than the fucking Warhammer official app that you have to pay money for.
As they were sort of ideating storyline for Angels of Death and doing
they did some fucked up stuff. Okay. I don't give a shit. I'm muting them. They did some fucked up shit. Let me explain to you one fucked up thing they did. Okay, cool. So, so they had the Vigilus Ablaze stuff, right? So those rules, those stratagems, stuff were in those books, right? And they were like, all of that's going to be free. Great. Good shit, right? If you have them already, then you could just use the app for free. But the same rules were then reprinted, which invalidated the previous rules in new books. And because they did that, now you have to buy those books in order to get the code that's in the back of the book. So if you owned a Vigilus Ablaze book, you no longer can use the app to look at it because that didn't have the code. But the new book, which has the exact same reprinted rules in some cases, like Warhammer Plus, like absolutely not, dude. Like I was so excited for the Eisenhorn show. I think I talked about it like incessantly, you know? And I watched they released one fucking animation. It was the Gazgul like origin story animation. They released that for free for like a week on Warhammer TV or whatever, right? I watched it. The animation quality was like Death Clock levels. Like it wasn't good. Wasn't the Eisenhorn show announced to be live action? Yes, but that was also announced pre-COVID. So I think it's in development hell. So Warhammer Plus is never getting my money. You know? It just isn't. It's not worth it. Like they've slowed down on their production. They announced like they do battle reports, right? Bro, fucking hold up. Hold up. I want to just show it without me actually having like, you know, Warhammer 9th edition battle report. Fucking free from good companies like Tabletop Titans. They're solid. We can scroll past Mini Wargaming Studio because they're bad. Tabletop Tactics, they're fucking good. These are free from people who know the rules, who actually, in some cases, worked on giving their opinion on how the rules should be done. Why would I fucking pay £55 a month? Play on Tabletop, I like them as well. Minigame War, these guys I don't. I think that they barely understand the rules and they're kind of cringe. That's my opinion. That you can get battle reports for free. Why would I pay for that? From people with personalities, because the thing is, much like streaming, you could just like I'm not good at games, but people watch me because they think I'm interesting or they like me or something. I don't know, right? Like, it's not because I'm good at any of the games I play. Look at these two guys and tell me they have more personality.
Somebody's saying, is that it? Is that it you mean, is that 54 minutes of awesome Warhammer? Then yes, you're darn right.
This guy.
You
want to watch this guy do something for 2 hours? Fuck that, dude.
Would it be worth coming back on?
It's almost certainly worth coming back on Friday when we have some more stuff for our skirmish games, including Kill Team, which obviously has double duty in Warhammer 40,000. And if you like Space Marines, and odds are, if you're watching a Warhammer 40,000 preview at Warhammer Fest,
Vanguard Tactics is pretty alright.
You should probably come back on Saturday as well to watch some of the stuff we've got for the Horus Heresy.
The Horus Heresy, yes. And to be fair, I would just pop along anyway because there have been a lot of people calling for more kin-related things as well. So yeah, there's loads of things to be seen. Do come back. But before we leave, let us summarise what we've seen. Say you were late to the party and missed the beginning. Raph will now hit the slides. So the first thing that we started with was this reveal.
They look
loads
great.
Of new kits.
I'm happy about them.
Space Marines, which is
I'm unhappy that my idea to kit bash them shit is probably not going to come true because I'm going to want them instead.
Standing shoulder to shoulder with things like Gravis armored Primera Space Marines. They are massive. We saw them in a scale picture alongside some Chaos Space Marine Terminators, and they're easily as big on chunky, great big 40mm bases. There was also
Chaos Cultists. So
these needed a range refresh.
The of the Chaos Hordes.
The old models aren't bad,
miniatures that you can throw
but they're not
enemy's
interesting.
Guns, so that your Chaos Space Marines don't have to take the bullets. No one likes taking armor saves if you don't have to.
Why take an armor save when you can just take a Cultist?
Absolutely. Let these guys take the bullets so you don't have to.
What if you just die instead?
Rad. The cultists take a turn for the weirder with the accursed cultist mutants, which are cultists who've just been blessed.
They're cool models,
much,
but I'm not
and it's
excited
all
about
starting
these.
to go a bit
Or
mad.
here.
And if you thought it couldn't get any worse, you were dead wrong with the accursed cultist torments, which are
I have a feeling
quite
that these
frankly
guys are going to
the
be
most
probably
horrifying
just
mutations,
whatever out of
between
10.
Demonically possessed.
Like, I'm not super enthused about these. I like the guy's foot
They're
just
all
being
very fun.
shredded by the leg.
Quite
That's
so far
cool.
left myself. Then you've got the Dark Commune, which are a HQ choice for Chaos.
This one is
Space
probably
Marines
going to
that
be
lean
really
further
good
into
because it's
that
an
cultist
HQ.
idea, and you've
That's
got a
my
mix
bet
there
on
of
these.
some kind of classic archetypes of Demagogue, Bannerbearer, Psyker, and a couple of Bodyguard as well. All very thematic HQ cultist choices.
Absolutely. We then took a diversion and we looked at the kin with the reveal of the Hernkin Pioneer for the Leagues of...
Why are the announcers always British? Because Warhammer is a,
riding
or Games Workshop is a British
shotgun,
company.
bolt gun wielding pioneer who goes ahead
I hate
of
his
the
face.
League armies and paves the way for entire invasion forces. Mega. More to be revealed on the Leagues of Votin as we
Like,
go
they're
along.
really solid models.
Then we have chapter approved. Lots of exciting stuff coming for match play in Warhammer
I would
40,000.
I
including
love
in
that the
this
points are
season.
free.
Change the way that command points work, secondary objectives for every army, and the announcement that points will be free to access for everybody to play Warhammer 40,000.
Should have
even
been
if you don't pick
from the beginning. Because everyone was getting them for free.
Then we talked about the upcoming World Eaters Codex. We showed you some work in progress.
People
as
would
it
be
were.
upset if they took them
And,
out. It is like a fan favorite,
confirmed
but...
that while they're not in the Codex Chaos Space Marines book, because why would they be? They're getting their own book sometime in the not too distant future, and the rules for them will be in White Dwarf until that point arrives.
Absolutely. Then we saw the new Chaos Demon Prince and confirmed that he will indeed have a wonderful Warhammer 40,000 incarnation and be available to pretty much everybody who likes spikes in the 41st millennium. An incredibly flexible kit that lets you do all sorts of cool stuff. You can put him into your Traitor Legion, or your Thousand Sons, or your Death Guard.
I think that's the same hand. Like the same left hand on both.
You can use one model for all
You
of them.
just
if you want.
preempted a question
just a
in
different-
the chat with what you said. Perfect work. Whew, I feel like that's the end. Oh, no! Angels of Death Origins was our final thing.
Yeah, even they don't give a shit.
And I am, for one, am very excited for more stories of the characters behind it.
Oh, right. We
Starting
announced
with
something for Warhammer
Medusa
Plus,
and
the thing that
Shipwreck
we don't
of
even
the
care
Sword
about.
Bar. If you've seen the show, you know how cool she is. Going to be worth a watch. Right. That brings us to where we are. Please remember, this is only day one of Warhammer Fest Online. Tomorrow will be Age of Sigmar. Friday will be our boxed games. And then Saturday, we're going to end things with a bang with the Horus Heresy boxed game. And we'll go mad.
Sounds good.
Right. Somebody in the chat said, please, just to confirm, there will one day be an Imperial Guard Codex. Of course there will. Hold the course.
We're on it.
Stay
We're on it.
cool.
Don't worry about
Like the Warhammer Studio.
No,
they-
we're not
they know
doing
she
that.
wrote. They're hammering keyboards, pages are flying off, all in good time. Right. I think we're about done here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Raph for pressing the buttons in the right order and making us look competent. Thank you to Notley and the Moderati for making sure the chat flowed smoothly, and for you guys for being so nice and making their life so very easy.
Monument
We will
Mythos
be
is probably
back
going to be
at
standard
5
stream
PM
time at
UK
about
time.
like
Please work that out in your local time. Tomorrow
5?
with Warhammer Age of Sigmar with more great reveals. Until then, we'll see you soon. Have a good one.
Okay. So overall impressions, good. This is good. This is all the stuff that I wanted to know, you know? It confirms the stuff that we knew was coming. The models all look good. Let me see if I can make myself big because we're not actually watching this anymore. The models, or the stuff that was confirmed is confirmed, which means that we're going to have all the stuff that's on that Blood of Kittens thing or whatever. I have the spiky bits link, but whatever. I would say that pretty much confirms that information, which makes me very excited. We obviously don't know the points cost of anything yet for Chaos Space Marines, but I mean, there's some stuff like the Iron Warriors reduces AP 1 and 2 by 1. That doesn't work anymore with Armor of Contempt. I feel like Armor of Contempt is a Band-Aid. And it's kind of an awkward Band-Aid. Right now, CSM is actually kind of okay. Like, the reason I play Orcs and Chaos Space Marines is they're usually announced, or at least their codexes come out at either end of the release schedule, which means that orcs are really good in the beginning because they're the new codex. And then they kind of peter off over time, and then Chaos Space Marines are announced, and they're really good, and they kind of peter off until the next edition starts where orcs are good again, or vice versa. Doesn't matter as long as one of them is playable. As long as one of those two factions is good, I'm fine. So we don't know what Iron Warriors are gonna get. Cool. See, there's not a new chosen, or there is a new chosen kit. It was for Kill Team, right? I think. The 5 attacks thing with Warp Towns was confirmed due to the leaked box. New mutant cultists were announced just now. New cultist HQ unit was announced just now. I'm without seeing the rules, I'm a little concerned about the command point thing. I think they're trying to prevent us from having like 8 different detachments. I mean, obviously you can only have 3. I'm over saying. Do we know what the Iron Warriors get? No. According to the leak, they get ignores cover, which they already had, reduce AP 1 and 2 by 1, which does not stack with that doesn't stack with the Armor of Contempt. They've already rewritten Salamanders and Valorous Heart for the same reason in Armor of Contempt. So they got different things. It was like I want to say it was like transhuman, or like you couldn't reroll the wound or something like that. I don't remember. I don't play those armies, so I don't give a shit. And then also heavy grenade and heavy weapons and grenades versus vehicles, buildings, because people are taking fucking buildings in 40k, and units in cover are +1 to wound. Luckily, people in cover and vehicles are good, like +1 to wound. That's solid. I'm excited because of the leaked stuff. I'm not excited about the command points change because, again, like, hold up. Can we just talk about this book? I just want to talk about this book. I just want to talk about this book for a minute because this book is horribly written. Let's see. Toughest Squig Hide strat. Okay. I feel like the CP change is trying to push the tournaments past turns 2 and 3. Yes. They're trying to make the game less killy. That's why Armor Contempt is a thing. They're trying to make it so that way you don't alpha strike as hard. Use a stratagem in any phase when a beast snag a infantry, beast snag a cavalry. Infantry would be the beast snagga boys or the beast boss on foot. For example, also the pain boss. Beast snagga cavalry would be the Squighog boys. Got some right here. There's one right here. The knob on Smash Squig, or the beast boss on Squigosaur. Okay. Or Beast Snagga Monster. That's not a thing. Nothing has those keywords. There's absolutely nothing in this book. There's nothing in this book with the Beast Snagga and Monster keywords. That's not Pog, Rev Pogbot. That's stupid. They printed a rule that doesn't do anything. Like, there was ink wasted in this book. They've had an FAQ for this. So okay, so the way Warhammer works is that maybe there's an upcoming unit. It has been over a year since this book came out. They're not announcing a new model. They just totally forgot. They just forgot. They probably meant the kill rig and the hunter rig, which are vehicles, not monsters. So I mean, that's me nitpicking a bit. Obviously, there's always all the things that are wrong with the FAQ, but there's just like, come on. And it's 2 CP, by the way, for essentially transhuman, right? Custodies get that same thing for 1 CP on units with a 2-up save. Maybe they meant to give it to the Forge World Squigos. They aren't Beast Naga. Who knows what they meant to do? Who knows, dude? I didn't bother reading the rest of the thing, but like the fact that they reference something that doesn't exist is just like silly. And all of these stratagems, all of them, like if it's any good at all, it's gonna be at least 2 CP. Aside from maybe Tide of Muscle and Get Stuck In. I think Get Stuck In is yeah, Groundbreaker Shells is pretty good, it's 1 CP, that's 1. Kareen is good, it's 1 CP. Hit 'em Harder, it's 2. Toughest Squig Hide is 2. Get Stuck In is 1 depending on the size. Ramming Speed is 2. Orcs is Never Beaten is 2. Unstoppable Tide of Muscle is 1. Unstoppable Momentum is now relegated to just 1 unit. Grot Shields is 2. Who the fuck is going to pay 2 CP for Grot Shields? Teleporter is 2. Monster Hunters is 2. All of the unit specific, like the clan specific strats, 2 CP. I think there's not a single one. Let me double check that. 2. Drive-by Daka is 1. Showing Off is 1. Mystic Chant. Who is going to spend 1 CP for Mystic Chanting, though? That strat sucks. This book needs love, dude. And all the stratagems costing like 2 that are any worth doing are it's just not worth doing. I'm like, people are surprised that I front load my army so much when I'm playing orcs with like, oh, I'm gonna have like 3 detachments. There's gonna be truck boys in each. I'm gonna have a war boss in each. All the war bosses are gonna have extra relics. All of them are gonna have extra warlord traits. They're surprised that I start off with like no CP, and I'm like, all of the stratagems suck. All of them are bad. And so now they're like, oh, well, we're going to make it so that way you can't front load your army with a bunch of CP. That's a straight up orc nerf, unless if they fix the stratagems at a core level. Like, they need to fix that book. That book is broken. Like, it's got bad synergies with itself. There's no reason to run like a combo. With orcs. There's not like a, oh, I'll bring this guy and then this guy as well. The WOG ability is awkward. Only being able to advance and charge once per game. When other armies get it the whole game. When it's the entire thing that orcs do. I feel like orcs should be able to advance and charge the whole game. Or at least like 3 turns. Why the fuck wouldn't they be? You know? What is that? 1 extra attack and advance and charge for core and character. What? Or you can play the shooty guys, which every army is shootier now. Sorry, bitching about orcs. But my point is that like the command point changes are going to be bad for them. I like that they're going to have the points out there for free. They were anyway. Like, let's be fucking real. Like, they were. You could get them anywhere and everywhere. Like, just like wait a week after the chapter approved comes out and you can find it on your phone. I bootlegged the last chapter approved because I'm not going to pay for it. I paid for the 2021. Then they announced the 2021 one, which invalidated the 2022 one. Then they announced the 2022 one, which invalidated the one before it. Why am I going to keep paying for a book, especially during COVID times? I'm not going to pay for a book that's got missions and points if I can just go on the internet. Like, if I'm going to play, I'm going to play on Tabletop Sim right now. I am. So I'm not going to pay for books, you know? You bootleg it through a website called Wahapedia. W-H-A. I think there's another H in there. Yeah, Wahapedia. W-A-H-A-pedia. Has all the rules. It's actually better than... It doesn't have the lore. That's the only thing that it's missing. You can also just find the books. Like, people upload PDFs of all the different books. So the fact that they're having the points out there for free, like, that's just them, like, coalescing to the fact that it's costs nothing. Like, I'm going to get them for free, regardless of if you give them out or not for free. So you might as well give them out for free because Battlescribe exists and Battlescribe is doing what the Warhammer app is doing, but better. Like, why the fuck would I pay for it? You know? And yeah, why would you pay for it? I think that they've I don't think they've tried to do a cease and desist for Battlescribe. I don't know why. I would if I were them. If I were going to be an asshole. They can't. Is that the issue? Because you have to install the separate file in order to get Battlescribe to do Warhammer. And the guy who develops Battlescribe has stopped working on it. So, like, okay. So, all in all, I'm excited, but obviously I'm a little salty at Warhammer or GW in general. They, you know, they suck. But the models look cool. The game is fun. Right now, there's some issues with internal, just balance. The balance issues are just, you know, every time a new codex comes out, it's just OP. Or it's something like Genestealer Cult or the new Chaos Knights or the regular Knights books where it's just not impactful enough that anyone cares. Like, I like the new Knights book. I like the new Chaos Knights book. I like the new Knights book. But, like, I can't see myself adding a Chaos Knight to my army. I just can't. Like, they don't provide enough. I would want something that could, and I just don't see it right now in my Chaos army. Maybe once I can actually get the points on Battlescribe so I don't have to try and do the weird math and try and figure out from the leak what is in there and what's not. But, yeah, right now I'm running, like, a lot of stuff. Has there ever been a point where there wasn't an issue with balance? I've been playing it since 3rd, and it could barely... Okay, so I've only been playing it since 8th. Early 8th. Like, right before the Orc Codex came out. And, maybe... Do you ever make shit lists that are just really bad for fun? I make meme lists, and then, like, I really push a meme, and then I go, is any of this valid? Have I ever looked at Epic or Armageddon? I don't want to play that many models. I don't have that much time in my day. I already play too much Warhammer. Don't they have function, though? The Knights? The little crow guys. They do. They're good. The little crow guys trigger strats, but I mean, honestly, if you don't like the way the model looks, like, just fine, whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna go piss, and then maybe we do some, little bit of, Shotgun King. I think Grot Tanks are great, man. I would run 3 if I had the points for it. Sorry, Chad is over there. I should probably bring Chad over here so that way I can not be. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna start, like, treating these rumors as legit. I'm upset about the command point things. I'm excited about the possessed models because obviously the old ones look busted. I was kind of thinking of I just want to show you what I was gonna do for the kit bash. It's not even really a kit bash. So I was gonna use some, like, Night Haunt models, right? Let me see if I can scale myself down. I was gonna use some Nighthaunt models and just use these guys as possessed. Like, I don't know, someone. I don't know enough about, like, maybe these fellas. I call them possessed or something. And just fluff wise, it'd be like a they're like little like demon boys. Still might do this. Honestly, these models still slap, but they're man size. They're not big models. But you do get 10 of them for 50, and I want to bet that you'll have to pay. Who's this guy? I have no idea who this guy is, but look at him. That's a fucking rad model. I love it. These guys are on like probably 25s or 32s, right? Definitely not 40s. 32s, yeah. So they're a little bit smaller. And they barely take up the whole base. But I think something like this for possessed would be rad, you know? I think I could add some random garbage to make the base bigger. But yeah, I'm going to go take a piss. Then we're going to play Shotgun King. God, those new possessed models are cool. They're going to announce it's going to be $50 for 5 of them. And they're going to push them super hard based on the leaks. So that would be 32. You're going to want to run 20 of them. $200 in possessed, dude. No. For one. Boingot Boulder. What? That's absolutely not a real unit. That's not a real unit. First off, Squid Copper's alt kit. Oh, okay. Is this like a Wait. Is that alternative for like an alternative way of building the Squid Coppas? Is that what you're talking about? I mean, they're cool. I don't really vibe with what I'm talking about. It's the armored version with the lances. Okay. Well, that's neat. They're cool, yeah. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna. How much is a 3D printer? I don't have room for a 3D printer. I don't have space for a 3D printer. I could make room or space for a 3D printer, but I'm going to get like some serious plastic fume problems. All right, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to go to the bathroom, and then we're going to do some Shotgun King. Give me a minute. I'll be right back. Hi, I'm back. I forgot to run a thing. You've never gassed yourself with paint fumes. I also don't use oil. Acrylic's a little bit better on that front. Let me go and update the ticker. And I think I will do the thing where I restart stream. Because I have a feeling a lot of people are not down for watching this. Because honestly, who cares about Warhammer? It's a nerd game for nerds. Yeah, we're gonna play a little bit of Shotgun King. I got to get those microplastics, dude. Get my acrylic microplastics. Get my my resin printer. Chess. You know what would be make chess better? Guns. That's what we're going to play now. All right. Let me know when you hear this, and then we're going to switch games. Cool.